Ladies and gentlemen, I have arrived at my campsite. I'm going to open up my awning, which is mounted to my new Toyota Prado. Got rid of the Subaru. It's going to be a whole lot of better experience. And this is my mate Tom.
Hello.
Hello. So here we are, everyone. We've arrived at this excellent campsite. I'll give you your old pan shot. So my friend Tom here setting up too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this 23-0 awning. Alright, so in the kit you get a whole bunch of these cords and some fairly generous size tent pegs, which is good. And then it's as simple as these black straps which hold everything in place, and I've set them up so that they're the right length, and once you tighten them up it's all schmicky. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start setting this up. I'm going to put it into hyperlapse. It's going to be pretty quick. It's a 5-minute setup, but with the tent pole, tent pegs, it's a little bit extra time. It is marketed as a freestanding awning, yes, but it's limited. So, I mean, other than that, it's perfect. So let's get this hyperlapse going. Look at that, even fast enough to have a costume change. That's right, I have merchandise. So yeah, pretty secure. What I've found though is that if there is a bit of wind, like it's pretty stable how it is now, but what you're going to want to have to do is just tie it down a little bit, because if the wind picks up, these aren't secured and they will just fall down. So make sure they're nice and secure, and it's literally as simple system like this. Let's hook it up here and then just lock it in down here. Tie better knot than I did. Pretty simple. So guys, here I am with the Falcon 270 by 23-0 awning. I'm just going to take you through a few close-up things that I like about this awning, and a few things that I thought were perhaps could have been improved, but it's going to be a fairly positive review today because I absolutely love this awning. So firstly, the first thing I love about this awning is that, of course, it is a 270-degree awning. It covers a huge amount of space. Back when I bought this shelter, this was one of the only ones that had this front wing here. All the rest kind of just stopped at this awning, this one just here. So that's what I loved about this one, but it seems now the awnings that are on the market are starting to realised that that front space is highly, you could utilise it fairly easily, which is great. Another thing I liked about this was that I noticed in some of the other ones in the market when I first bought this, they had the shelter here. It would cover this pivot point here, and you might think to yourself, well, that's probably a good idea because the rain will get in. But what actually happens is this ends up becoming a hole when you're constantly opening and closing it with some of the other brands. So this hole here was a wear and tear thing, and if you really wish to sort that out in the rain, if it's really bothering you, it's never bothered me in the rain, you could easily cover that over with something, another tarpaulin, but it's never once bothered me. Another thing I really liked about this shelter was that I could utilise it. I utilised it on another car that had a boot that opened upwards, so you can actually see the evidence of that with this dirt mark here, because that's where the old boot used to sit. But now I've got this open door here, which is a lot better. What I found with the back with this type of door system, with the door opening like such, I noticed that we lost what the upwards boots had, was keeping it all the rain out when you were accessing your tailgate and your boot. So I noticed that this flap was on the front, and if you notice that all these, I'll just take it around here, all these rails have sail tracks, which is really good because that's what I ultimately used to put that in here, but it's kind of squashed itself a little bit because of this. I'll fix that later. But that flap there, which was originally on the front sail track, I'll bring it around to the front. Originally it was in here, and I was always thinking to myself, what was the sole purpose of that? But I'm guessing it was put on the wrong location, so now I've hopefully put it on the right location, and it seems to close off that gap when I'm accessing my tailgate. So now I can access my drawers and everything whilst it's raining. Underneath here, you comfortably sit, very comfortably sit two people with additional furniture, but you could easily have up to, I'd say comfortably you'd fit 4 people under here in the rain. You know, you can have probably more people if it was just sort of shade or something, then that would work quite well too. The system has this pole here, so this central pole number 1, let's say that, and this other pole on this beam here. Now these are actually can close up into the body and are actually permanently attached to it, so I can close that up like that and shorten it, and it attaches nicely with a good strong look at that, good strong connection just there. So the legs have it's quite hard to see, but these legs open and close, and you just twist them to tighten them. So it's a really cool system, really easy to use. The other 3 legs are basically upside down versions of the ones that are attached, and if you look up here, they just slot into a hole just like that. Now that's probably one of the downsides of this shelter, is that you need, if it's a windy day, you need to tie this down to stop this from flapping up and down, because if I do, it just falls. So I've been sitting in my chair a couple of times and it's actually hit me in the face, and it's not a pleasant experience, I can tell you that right now. Alright, the way that it's strapped up and tightened is it's got two of these straps here with these locking clips, tightening clips, so I would say, and they just hook into these positions and they just hook onto your awning however you like them to be. You can hook them, you know, you could maybe hook it over the top of that, but I just use this because it's nice and strong and sturdy, and you can make it as tight as you like. Now, originally when I put this up, the back arm wasn't actually parallel with the back of the car, which I was quite disappointed with. But what I actually found was that I wasn't actually making it tight enough. So I actually just tightened it with the second clip here. I can make it even a little bit tighter now, but I think it's fine for what I need, just as long as it's parallel with the back and the tailgate is nice and dry when I'm trying to access it in the rain. One thing I want to talk about is how robust these joints are. So these are actually, the arms themselves are made of aluminium, so that makes it nice and lightweight. So there's a lot less stress on the arms when you're just opening it, so it can be freestanding. It can be freestanding with just the two limbs, the two legs that are attached. So leg number 1 and leg number 2, they attach to it, and you can just have it freestanding like that on a not so windy day, and the arms themselves will be fine. These are nice heavy grade stainless steel components, which are, you know, super strong, and if anything's going to break, it's going to be this aluminium section here. They use stainless steel rivets into place and some really heavy duty fasteners, that a solid pin going all the way through there, which is really nice and strong. And that again is repeated on this side. Also wanted to show you just how well it stands on two legs. So today is not so windy, the trees are moving ever so slightly, but it's I wouldn't call this a windy day, and it's doing just fine with just the two legs. So yes, it can be freestanding, but I wouldn't recommend it on anything more than a slight breeze. So overall, I'm really happy with this awning. It's served me well on many occasions on different cars as well. And it provides a lot of coverage, a lot of space. The fabric itself is really high quality. It's not going to fall apart or anything anytime soon. And it just really goes well with any sort of camping experience that you're doing. It folds down really easy. You know, I've never had any problems with closing it up. It's always been really easy to do. So keep watching, and we'll have some adventure videos soon.